Welcome to Soulful Sundaze.
Okay, it sounds right.
Come on now, drum roll.
I think there's something to narrowing down that sister circle.
Welcome to Soulful Sundaze, where we are bringing you soul-inspired conversations. This is season 2, guys. Yay! I am your host, Lena Anthony, and this is my amazing, beautiful co-host, Judy Johnson.
Hey, y'all.
And we have an amazing surprise for you guys.
Yes, we do.
This season 2, we have a new co-host.
Yes. Come on now, drum roll.
Raquel Ballou.
I'm so excited that you're here. I cannot wait to hear all the insights and wonderful stories that you have to share with us.
Well, I am excited to be a part of this with you guys.
Come on now.
Welcome, soul sister.
Well, hey, girl. Hold on, we have a new guest on board too this season.
Yeah.
First guest of the season.
Yes.
Yes, we'll get there. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But on this episode, we're excited to bring you guys all new episodes, all new topics with fresh perspectives.
Yes.
And this episode, we're talking about true vision.
Which is so important to have.
It's very important. Sometimes, God can give us vision, and a lot of times that vision may detour.
Yes.
So let's talk about how God give us this vision, or we have these dreams, and a lot of times our self-desires or our passions may allow us to detour or navigate a different way. Let's talk about that.
Let's do that. But I know y'all already have y'all champagne glasses ready, queued up to be clink clink. So let's again. Can we join in to make certain that we can toast to Soulful Sundaze?
Well, mine is orange juice.
Yes.
It is. It's mine too.
It's okay, but they look good.
To season 2 and to the new you.
Yes. Soulful Sundaze.
Cheers,
Boom,
ladies.
boom, boom. Okay, let's jump to it.
Yes.
Let's get into this topic, ladies. I'm really excited to talk about this. With it being a new year, 2020, let's talk about true vision.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, let's really talk about what vision is, period. I think that what's important about vision is you can get a vision from God, but a lot of times you still need to go deeper in what does it take to get to that vision.
yeah.
For me, it's been a journey to my vision or to God's vision for my life, and I feel like I'm still on that journey every single day.
Absolutely.
And I'll definitely say when it comes to a vision, it's one component to have a vision, but it's a completely different component to write that vision out, to make it clear, so that you remind yourself what it is you want to accomplish. And if you don't do that, you don't have a reference point to know, am I close? Am I too far away? Do I need to make adjustments? And how do I get to what I see in that vision?
Yeah, a lot of times when we're young, or I will hope that when you're young, you have this something inside of you telling you what your vision should be, or what you think that your life should look like. And a lot of times we go through life trying to figure it out, because a lot of people don't know what their vision is.
Yeah, that's true.
I just remember at a very young age, I didn't know for a long time, but I remember having dreams of being in this city and seeing palm trees, and I never understood, like, what is this?
In Philly?
No, seriously. what is this I'm seeing?
Yeah.
And I remember at a young age, there was all that something that people call something, but now we know it's God, right?
Yeah.
There was always something in me that would tell me the things that I should do as I got older. But I knew that I needed to go to college, or I thought that I needed to get a job after college. So it was like, it took for me to go through a lot of different experiences and journey through life for me to really figure out, okay, what is my true vision? What is my purpose on this earth? What do you want me to do, God, with myself?
Yeah.
And you have to have that discernment, or that you have to have full clarity, or you're going to go through a lot of detours, and detours are okay. We don't want you to think that detours are something where they're mistakes. They're not. They're experiences that allow you to make better decisions or make better choices with your life, but they allow you to really see. It gives you clarity. This is not for me. But I needed to go through this experience so that I can get to my next step, my next level.
Definitely. For me, I'm born and raised in LA. So I knew at a very early age that I must be born here for some, particular reason. You were in Philly dreaming of palm trees, and I was literally waking up to them every day. So I was like,
Lucky you.
Yeah, girl. But see, here's the thing. You don't even realize that that's luck. You don't even realize that that's a blessing. For me, it was just, this is home, So I feel like vision for me started at a very early age in this town because I knew that I wanted to be an actress.
Yeah.
I knew it. I was like, I'm here. The opportunity is at the next door. Yeah. So I'm supposed to be doing this. And I was able to start my career at a really young age. But I will be honest with you, that was my vision then, but now as a grown woman, a mother, a wife, the vision has changed.
Absolutely.
I realized that there's more to life than just being an actress.
Yeah.
There's more to life than what this city can offer. There's a whole world out there.
Yeah.
So for me, vision is something that's always growing. I don't think that you get a vision and you stay there.
Yeah.
I feel like a vision is something you constantly have to seek and constantly sit before God. He's the one who says in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for you. Those plans are to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and hope. So vision is found in that scripture alone for me.
Well, I'll say this. While you were dreaming of palm trees and while you were waking up to palm trees, I was waking up to coconut trees. Because growing up in Jamaica, honestly, and in a very, we grew up in poverty. I think the only thing that I saw that I could attribute to vision from my younger years was I just want to be happy.
Wow.
I just want to play and I want to have a good time. But when I came to America, it was definitely work, work, work. And it was always work to live, it was live to work, not work to live. Or vice versa.
Yeah.
But being here and what brought me to California was the desire to have a quality lifestyle.
Yeah.
And in that, the vision was a platform. It was a stage. Now, it wasn't a stage for cameras. It wasn't a stage. Well, yeah, it wasn't a stage for TV or film. It was literally a stage in front of women.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like speaking to women.
Kind of like what you're doing now.
Kind of like what I'm doing now.
I mean,
Kind of like similar. But in that, I have not arrived. I haven't found myself in that place so I can say, okay, this vision that I experienced, I am living it.
Yeah.
But the journey getting there, I have seen so many different platforms. I have worked on so many different shows, so many different projects that allow me to understand that this is all a beautiful experience and it has blessed God.
Yeah.
Yes.
But God is not through with me.
And at the end of the day, true vision never changes.
No.
There are just detours.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, when God gave us that true vision, what were some of the detours that we experienced? I know for me, I had so many detours. I remember going to college and God told me specifically, at the time I thought God told me specifically, you're going to college to study journalism. And because again, I've always seen my face, and just like Judy, I come from poverty. So I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be that person that was going to get my family out of this situation. So I knew that I can't do that seeing what I'm seeing here. I can't do that here in Philadelphia. I'm not saying that there are limits in Philadelphia, but for me, I knew that there was something greater and somewhere greater for me to go.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, I studied journalism because I always had this voice that I knew it needed to be used. I knew that I had a message, and I thought that was my route through journalism. And after my first semester in Penn State, I was like, this isn't for me, God. Like, this is intense.
It's work.
This is work. And I know that I have to work. Anything that you work hard for, you become successful. But I still knew that there was something that was missing.
Yeah.
So I wasted not wasted, because it helped me with a lot of communication skills and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I invested a semester in journalism, whereas I could have just jumped right into communications, and I graduated in communications and theater, which is my field of acting. So that was a little detour. But even with coming out here and getting pregnant at a young age and having a child and getting married, that was a little detour. But at the same time, God had me, I had to take those steps.
Yes.
I had to learn what I learned to be the woman that I am today.
Yes.
To stand here and not be limited by the one vision that I thought that God has given me, because God will give you so many different talents.
Yeah.
And you have to literally figure those talents out.
That part.
By going through so many different things. You have to experience some heartbreak, some hardships, some struggles in order to truly figure out what my true vision is, what my true calling and purpose is in this life.
Well, let me say this, because when it comes to the detours that I experience, my detours speak to me through my emotions. I'm a very emotional person. My husband will testify to that. But what happens in my detour is my emotions will make me know you're not happy. This isn't it. Self-assess and adjust.
Yeah.
And what I oftentimes found myself doing was, God forgive me, but if I was working in an office environment, it was never a pleasant experience. And this was even before I knew I wanted to pursue a career in entertainment. What I did was I went and I worked. I paid the bills and I did what I needed to do to, have the petty cash to go out and have fun. I didn't know what my vision was then, but I still knew emotionally I wasn't happy.
Right.
And then when I connected with my vision, I would still take these detours to do something else to make things happen instead of having the faith to know, no, there's a vision in your life. You need to achieve that thing. How do you find the bumpers to keep you focused? And that was my emotion to say something's not right. And let me not take it out on my friends. Let me not take it out on my husband or my family. But let me really understand, okay, this job is suffocating my creativity. This environment is stifling my productivity. So I need to move. I need to adjust. I need to recalibrate. And I need to do something, even if it makes me uncomfortable, to make sure that I'm aligned with my vision.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something about God. Okay. God uses everything. Even that office job, he's using it. Even that detour, he's using it. Even that time at school, he's using it. When you are his child, he works all things together for our good.
Yeah.
So it does not matter. I think of every detour, and sometimes I'm like, God, why do I have to go through that? And why do I have to do that? But he shows me later on in life why.
Yeah.
I remember for me, my detour was, I said, you know what, Lord? If I'm not booking any jobs on TV, I'm going to go to film school, because I'm going to do something in entertainment. Whether I make my own stuff, whether I start producing and writing my own stuff, no matter what, you're not going to take me out of the entertainment industry, because I wasn't booking at the time. So I looked at film school as a detour, but really God was like, no, I dried up that season because it was a new season.
And I don't want to limit you. You're so much more than just
so
an actor.
much more.
Again, God didn't create us to just be one thing. I came out here thinking I was an actress. No, I'm a producer. I'm a writer. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a designer. Like, you know what I mean?
Everything.
He uses
the jack
every
of all
situation.
trades.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to speak to what you said. Like, yes, God always align our steps. But God will show us the final destination, but he'll never show us the steps.
No.
The ladders to take. Like,
because you never take it.
Because the thing is, we try to press the button and jump on the first step and then jump to the million. Like, we're done now. But no, God, like, you got to go 1, 2, 3, and then let me take you back to 2.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that. You have to be patient in that process, because you're learning something. Because if you miss something, but wait, what if you miss something? Then you get demoted, and now you got to start all over.
Yeah. I like to call it my savings account in heaven. It's like, I feel like I like to just be able to just swipe, right? But he's like, hold on. You need to save some stuff.
Yeah.
So go through some things,
Yeah.
and I'm going to store it up here.
That's so
and it
good.
gains equity. It gains interest.
Oh.
So the experiences that we go through, like you've said, they feel like a detour, but really God is like, hold up.
Yeah.
I put it over here.
Mhm.
It's growing. Don't
Yes.
worry about it. Hold on. I put it over here.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's gaining interest. And at some point, that journalism, that office job, that film school, it works together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It comes
absolutely.
together and
Absolutely.
brings us all to the completion of God's true vision for
Yeah.
our life.
Absolutely.
He uses it all.
I'm always reminded of this quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., where he talks about you never have to worry about getting to the end. Just
Yeah.
take the first step. And I'm
Yeah.
paraphrasing that. And I remember working in DC, and there is a metro stop called McPherson Square. And I would purposely not take the escalator because I wanted to take the steps. And I would look at the top of the steps, and then I'll keep my head down. And every step I would take, I'm like, this is just one step. This is just one step. And I'm so glad that I did that, because now when I'm going through something, I'm reminded of, listen, you have a place, a destination, a vision that I'm going to. I just don't have to focus on the bigger picture because I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
What I need to do is focus on this step and this step alone. Because if I look up, man, I'm just going to get down and just jump back on the escalator and just do it the easy way, because why not?
Yeah.
The easy way makes sense. But the way that I took, it built character.
Absolutely.
And it built patience. And
Absolutely.
it built strength, because by the end of my time working downtown, man, I was flying, running up the steps with ease. And that's kind of like a reflective memory for me to be able to say, Judy, stick to it.
Yeah.
That vision that's in mind for you, for us. Sometimes I do want to quit. Sometimes I do want to say, no, this is not it. Talk myself out of it. But again, I'm reminded of McPherson Square steps and just running up the steps, that if I just continue, I will develop that stamina, and I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
You gonna get there.
And you can't quit, because if you quit, you got people waiting for you.
That
So
part.
how can you quit? Like that's what drives me. Like I know that the vision for my life is it's not really about me. It's about the millions of people that God is using me for.
Yeah.
And I remember going through so many cycles in life where I thought they were circles. Like, Lord, why am I going in so many circles? And I remember God saying to me, you're not going in circles, but I need you to find the joy in the journey.
Yeah.
Because if you don't find the joy in the journey, you will get so bitter,
Yeah.
and then you will quit.
That reminds me of like the story of the Israelites, though. They went through the same thing. God gave them a promised land, but he did not tell them what they were going to get there. He just said, it's a land that I've promised you. And he told them, I'm going to take care of you every single day on the journey. And I look at my life like that. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, but Lord, what about next week? And what about 2 weeks from now? And he's like, hold up, let's deal with today. Because honestly, 2 weeks from now, I didn't promise you. I promised you today because I woke you up.
Yeah.
So let's get through today, and then we'll talk again tomorrow if I give you that day.
And he speaks about that in the book of Matthew. Do the birds and the flowers worry about what they're going to eat or drink or the day? No, why are
You
we
ain't never
worried
seen no
about
stressed out bird.
or a stressed out flower? Like,
Living their
Like,
best
no.
Best life. They figure it out.
yeah. So let's speak to what you just mentioned. If you have got, because I think this will help a lot of people who's watching right now. Sometimes we get these words from people or prophecies from our prophets or our preachers or our teachers, or your mother may even say, this is what I think you should be doing, you know? What if you get that word, you know, and you feel like during the journey, there's no confirmation, or you're still going in cycles. Sometimes people may feel like they're going in circles, but you're going in cycles, or you're just not getting there fast enough. How do you speak to that person? What kind of advice would you give to that person?
Well, I would say, take one day at a time. I remember when I told my family, my Jamaican family, hey, I'm going to stop everything that I'm doing. I'm going to move cross country by myself to a land that I know nobody. Like, I knew no one. The only person I knew was Brayley Evans, and we swapped apartments, so I stayed at her place. But the most interesting thing was when my family came to me and said, I think you should do this. Again, there was something in me that said, I know you want the best for me, but that isn't the best for me, because something inside of me is telling me that there is an unknown thing that your family has never seen before that I'm taking you to.
Yeah.
And it was in that space that I'm like, I know you mean well for me, but there's something else. And that something else was so scary, so unknown, that even though with all the love and support that my mom would try to give me, or my siblings would try to give me, I still had to buckle down in my own fear, in my own uncertainty, because everything is uncertain.
Yeah.
And if you have to convince yourself, you don't know, but you still got to do, there is an anchoring that I get knowing that I'm in this thing with God.
Yeah.
And hey, if I fall to the bottom, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm going to fall to the bottom with God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd
That's
rather
good.
take my bet and my chances there
Yeah.
than to really try to do it any other way.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Like, you can't live out somebody else's dream for you. You have to live out what feels fulfilling for you, because you come in this world alone and you leave alone. That's just how it goes. So what you do in the in-between, you have to carry that. You got to carry that cross. And for me, I felt a lot of my life I was trying to live up to people's expectations, whether it was my father's expectation or my mom's expectation. And it's not to say that their expectations are wrong, because I'm a mom.
Yeah.
So there's things with my kids I'm like, I want them to do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I have found that my true joy comes from me taking my route and trusting God through it and saying, Lord, although the noise is loud around me, I'm just going to get quiet with you so that I can get grounded in what you're saying. Because sometimes the noise is so loud, you'll be pushed in so many different directions and lose your entire journey.
Yeah.
So it's really about getting quiet before God, and also discipline and sacrifice. There are times in my life that I had deep sacrifice. Like, I took out some things that I knew were keeping me from really hearing from God.
Yeah.
You know, and just staying on that journey and really finding what's for me in this world.
Yeah.
Because God has something for all of
absolutely.
us. It's finding, what does he have for you?
Yeah.
Even when it's hard, because
Yeah.
it gets hard. On vision is hard.
But it's supposed to get hard. It's
Yes.
not going to be easy. True vision from God never changes.
Woo.
A lot of times we get confused because it doesn't happen in the correct time that we think is the correct time.
You mean like right now?
Right now.
Right now?
Like for example, now this isn't about me, but this is an example. This is my husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were in church and we got a prophecy that in 48 hours he would be a millionaire. So even my son was like, Mom, it's been 48 hours. like, is Pops a millionaire yet? But guess what? If God said it, then it's going to manifest.
Yes.
You have to just run the course and not allow, your patience can go weary, but you can't lose patience or faith, because there's a knowing.
That's the word.
There's a knowing. When God says something, he's not about to go back on his word, and he's not about to be shamed. He's not that type of God.
No.
He's the type of God that if he says something, you best believe it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you just have to have that knowing in your heart and in your spirit that if my God said I'm a millionaire, it's going to happen.
Period.
And then you start speaking, I'm a millionaire.
Every day.
Because guess what? That speeds up the prophecy.
Yeah. It also reminds me of Peter, though. When Christ told Peter to step out on that water, Peter was like, wait, how you doing that? Like, can I do that? Really? But what did it take for Peter to really be able to walk on that water?
Faith.
It took faith, but it took another type of faith. He didn't have to have the faith to believe that God was going to do it. He had to have the faith that he could do it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the prophecy that's spoken over our life. The faith kicks in. God says it is impossible to please me without faith.
Yeah.
So when I think of like, God, I want to please you. I want to make you happy. I want to be fulfilled in who you are.
Yeah.
He's telling us the way to that is faith.
Yeah.
And that faith, we can run around and hallelujah, I got all the faith.
Yeah.
But he knows how much faith you
Yeah.
have. And how much faith you have will be in the fruit that comes from
It's
it.
according to your patience, though.
Period.
Because you
Interesting how you
gotta
say that,
have
too.
patience in order to have real faith.
Yeah.
I love how you said it, because when you said have the faith to believe that I can do that, or I think a lot of times we self-sabotage where it's when something is spoken over our lives or goodness is spoken over you. We don't even think we deserve it, or we don't even think we are capable of having it, or we don't even know how to achieve it. So then we self-destruct and say things and not realize, hey, if this is in accordance to the vision over my life, if this is in accordance to what is for me, just receive it.
Period.
And know that the road is going to be bumpy, there's going to be highs and lows, but at the end of the day, what's for you is for you.
And it's all about the conversations you had with yourself outside of the prophecy or the word that was speaking. So what are you doing in your alone time? You know, you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, God, you said that I'm successful, so I am successful. I am a millionaire. I am an actress, producer, all the things that you have called me to do. I am an example of you, Lord. So I shall not lack anything.
Period.
And if you have that mindset and that knowing, what is going to happen for you in no time. But that's why you have to build up your patience. And patience require a lot of faith.
Well, I'm guilty. Sometimes in my alone time, I'm not saying the most pleasant things to myself.
You ain't the only one guilty.
I'm like, Judy, why you do that? Why you not doing this? Oh, you're not consistent. Oh, you need to do this. And I'm beating myself up. And I'm kind of reminded that there was a season in my life where when things really went well, I fell off of the routine. And the routine was morning affirmations. One thing I would do is record my voice into my phone, and I would say things that are pleasant. And I would say things and feel those things that anytime I would play it in the morning time, I would laugh at how happy I sounded. I would laugh at what I was saying, and I would kind of just let that sink in, that morning affirmation sink in, like, I am a millionaire. I do like driving a Bentley. That does feel kind of nice. And as strange as that was something that was a routine that helped me align myself to remind myself to speak life to myself towards my vision.
It also brings me to, when you hear lies, you have to know exactly where those lies came from. Those lies are sent from somewhere. So
life
the question,
and death is in the power of the tongue.
It's in the power of the tongue. So when you're hearing a lie, you have to immediately send that lie right back to where it came from. And that's the thing that I'm working on in my life. When the lie comes, I cast it out. I correct it. I send it right back to where it belongs, because God, he's already in me. So I don't even need to keep telling myself that I'm this or I'm that. I have to just know, God, you are in me. You operate through me. I am an heir of a kingdom. Like, any lie that conflicts that, I know who it came from. And I get it out of here. And let me tell you, that is not something that comes overnight.
Not at
that
all.
Takes time. And
Not
that takes
all.
time spent with the Father.
Absolutely.
You know, because those lies, you're never going to stop those lies from coming. You can be, I don't care if you are the pastor of the largest church, those lies are still coming to you. But the difference between someone who's moving closer to the true vision God has for their life is that they're learning how to correct the liar. They're learning how to speak the life over the death that keeps entering into them. That's never going to change. You're never going to hear sweet nothings for the rest of your life. That's not it. I know, girl. I know.
But that's also when you know the vision that God has given you is so much more bigger. When you're battling doubt, I remember my spiritual father told me, because I battled doubt for so long, and he said, most children of God battle doubt. And the reason why when you have this struggle that you can't just kick is because you have a greater vision and calling on your life. Because the enemy does not want you to be successful in those things that God has called you to do. So he's making you doubt every word, every prophecy, every message that was ever spoken to you. And I remember being so bitter, like, I'm done with this industry because I went through so much. But God has called me and had aligned me to go through all of those things, because now when I think about my purpose, it's so much more than just an actress or a producer. Like I'm speaking to millions of women all the time, being a youth pastor now. Like who would have known? But I had to go through all of those things because of the vision that God had put in me. And now I'm living out my true calling. So nothing, it doesn't matter if the enemy whispers something in my ear. It doesn't even go through my ear. It is a blockage because at the end of the day, I know. I don't operate with just I think. I operate in a knowing. I know that it's done. Faith is not believing something is done. Faith is knowing that it's already done. So if God said I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire.
Period.
I'm driving up to my home in Calabasas right now.
Hello, I'm in Puerto Rico.
Well, I'm gonna toast to her Calabasas home because I'm gonna be your neighbor.
Y'all gotta come see me up the way. I'll be up the way.
So I just wanted to leave just a quick word. I think we all should leave a quick word to our viewers because true vision is something that a lot of people battle, but you have to be aligned with God. You have to truly find your true purpose. So don't give up. Don't doubt yourself. And in those alone times when you do get that feeling of I'm not good enough or I'm not pretty enough or I'm just not enough, know that you are enough. You are more than a conqueror. You are above and not beneath. And you are great and mighty because guess what? The God that is in you is great and mighty. Thank you so much.
So good.
Yes. Oh, I will
Dream
add
something.
I'll definitely add dream. Talk to the Father and always stay focused.
Yes, I'm going to end with the fact that what God has already put in you is already manifested. It's up to you to believe it, receive it, and let him work this thing out in your favor.
And go to the book of Habakkuk because at the end of the day, vision comes with writing the vision and making it plain. God has to know what's in your heart. Even though he knows, he wants to know that you're aligned with his voice in order for it to manifest. So we thank you again for watching Soulful Sundays. So full of life.
So full of love.
Soulful Sundays.